I'm late. I was gonna lotion my hands, but honestly, I'm just not even in the mood. Esther Marie, hiya, doll. Let me. I know I should always do this at the beginning. Dun dun dun. And post and pin. I'm getting better at doing that. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings and good night. Let me get comfortable. Sit down. Ooh, I feel like this is really close. Am I too close? Is that better? How is everyone amidst the craziness? Lewis Hopeton? Hi, welcome. I think I read that right. I'm so sorry. I apologize in advance if I mash up people's names when I'm trying to read them on the screen. It doesn't always work out the way that I think it's going to work out in terms of my ability to read people's names, but welcome. Greetings. Okay, so Bella, whatever your name is, we're not starting out, so let me just eject you from the live, and then that way I don't have to cuss anybody tonight. Because I'm not, oh, thank you, like this? So interestingly enough, weird things, I know we're not going to start talking about fashion right now, but the skirt I designed, it's a denim lightweight wrap skirt, and then this little bandeau thing I got from Walmart like in 2017, 2016, something like that. Black Chris, I don't know what the rest of that is. I really don't like pronouncing people's screen names, especially when it's not something that's simple, because I feel like I'm fucking up people's screen names. So just, allow me and just kind of try to see with me. Seems so easy. Welcome. Good night. Hello. Greetings. I am AJ Badass Jones. I am the host of the Pum Pum Chronicles. This is Wet Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, I do a live where we have discussions on sex, relationships, intimacy, toys, and everything thereabouts that adults people like to talk about. Last week I went live. I think because of the time change, it kind of like threw things off for people. So I don't want to be one of those people that just go on your live where you're talking to like one person and rambling pretty much to yourself. So I did a very short live, and then I came off very quickly. Life with Keely, my darling. Did somebody say no coronavirus, fam? Is that what the name is? What is wrong with you guys? T. Isaiah, wow, long time no see. Welcome. Nice to see you. So today we are going to be discussing the 5 love languages, and we're also going to be talking about what your expectations are when you're expecting a relationship from someone, or expecting to be in a relationship with someone. And I actually ran a couple of surveys. Yes, me and my BlackBerry. This is my backup phone. Don't watch that and don't make fun, because that's not a nice thing to do. But it has my notes on it as well, because my notes are on this phone that's recording me, but obviously I, for obvious reasons, I can't use it, so I just access my notes from here. Anyhow, how is everyone doing amidst this coronavirus pandemic and fear that's going on around the world? I hope that everyone is staying safe. I hope that everyone is taking necessary precautions. I know that they're talking about like social distancing and all that good jazz, but Jahan23 underscore 2364, what's up? No, I'm not accepting a chat request from you. Tridip5180, hi. Jahan2364, no, I'm not going to accept you because I don't know who you are. It doesn't work that way. Dora Coleman, what is going on? Welcome. Nice to see you. I'm so glad to see everyone. As I said, last week I went live, and I think that it was just a timing thing. And again, I don't want to be one of those people that are just, you sit down talking to yourself unnecessarily. I could do that shit by myself without being recorded. So I stayed on for maybe about 15 minutes, and then I just decided that I was going to push the discussion back to this week instead of trying to do it last week. And that was it. Okay, so another person being ejected from my live because I'm not arguing with anybody this week about my boobs. So here we go. later. Jhan2364, no, I'm not accepting you. And if you keep asking me, I'm going to just block you from my live. So whatever it is that you feel like you need to say to me, just say it there. Let everybody see. Let the world see what it is that you feel is so important that you want to talk to me about. Come on, be brave. Anyhow, as I was saying, I hope that everyone is feeling well. Just doing a wellness check-in with everyone as well amidst the coronavirus. I know that for a lot of people who have kids, schools are closed. So like for us here in Canada, this week is March break or spring break. I'm not sure if that is kind of across the board in the US as well. So trying to find activities for your kids to do, given the fact that schools are going to be closed for the next 3 weeks, I think it is. I am so happy that mine are full grown and can tend to themselves and entertain themselves, because yeah, that's a rough one. So for all you parents out there, I feel it for you. This is a time where we are truly valuing the role that teachers play in our kids' lives and how important they are. Teachers need to be paid as much as doctors. Like, honest to God, that's how I feel. Or they need to be paid as much as like sports athletes and entertainers and stuff like that, because when you're managing one or two children that are your own kids, it's rough. When you're a teacher and you're managing, 25, 30, if you're managing a smaller group of children that have special, it's tough. It's tough managing so many different personalities, and it's a lot of work. So I commend everyone, and kudos to everyone, to the parents who were out there, trying to keep their kids actively engaged. I feel it for you. I ran a youth program for 20 some odd years, and it's not an easy thing to do. So, yeah. Dark Chocolate 49, greetings and good night. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So as I said, this week we are going to be talking about, and you know what? I probably should have pulled up the topics first, and I didn't. And don't ask me why I didn't. I just didn't. But we are talking about what to expect when you're expecting a relationship. As well, we're going to be talking about the 5 love languages. So I don't know if we should do the 5 love languages first and cover that. Or if we should do the what to expect when you're expecting relationships. We'll probably do that one first, because there was polls. So last week I ran, I think it was 6 polls, just to kind of get people's insight into what they think about being in a relationship or in the process of developing a relationship with someone that you're interested in, and then how that kind of plays out in terms of people's expectations at the beginning of the relationship, and how much you give versus, pacing yourself and what have you. Dora Coleman, my 16-year-old is bored already. He wants to go to the mall. Yeah. That mall situation is erotic boudoir. Nick, my love, greetings and good night. Nice to see you. Yeah, that mall situation. So one of our biggest malls here is closing on Friday. Again, like, I know businesses are taking a huge hit. But then I feel like financially the population of people who have been, made to stay home from work, hopefully they're being compensated in some kind of way. Like, it just sucks all the way around, and people are having a difficult time of it. It's just one of those things where, no one was prepared for it because no one saw this coming down the pipeline. And so, like, once it's hit now, it's like trying to fast track a contingency plan for yourself when there wasn't one in place. Kingdom of Heart, what's going on? Welcome and good night. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. T. Isaiah, Square One is actually closing on Friday. My son messaged me today to tell me that they're shutting down Square One on Friday. That's a huge deal, because for us, like, Square One is one of those malls where, okay, so like you see on the holidays, malls are closed and what have you. Square One is considered a tourist attraction, and so it doesn't close. It's open on not Christmas Day, sorry, my apologies. It's closed on Christmas Day, but it's like open on Boxing Day. It's open, like, on any of the holiday days, because it's considered a tourist attraction. I think it's one of like 3 of the major malls here in like in the Toronto area. So Square One, I think it's called Vaughan Mills, and Scarborough Town Center, and the Eaton Center, for the 4 like biggest malls. But Square One doesn't close unless it's like Christmas. It's open all the time. And when they're closing down, like, it's serious business. Like, in Square One, there's like a rodeo drive in Square One. There's like a Porsche dealership. I think there's a Lamborghini dealership. Like it's a lot of high end stores. So everybody's taking a beating. On the flip side of that, honestly, I don't really feel bad for those conglomerate type of corporations because they are billion and trillionaires, whereas Joe Average, who's making $14 an hour to support his family or her family, their workplace is shut down and there isn't anything that they can do about that. They're having to apply for unemployment insurance or relying on the resources that they have or the support of the community or the support of family and friends. So it's a rough and fucked up situation for everybody all around. TIZ, no, just for the coronavirus, it's not a forever break. Romaine Ferguson 91, greetings and good night. Welcome everyone. No, it's a closure on Friday. I guess they're trying to do their part in terms of just sort of the social distancing, social isolation, and just helping people to kind of stay safe. I think that's their contribution to their part. I also think too that if they're going to close down, maybe they're going to like sanitize the whole mall because there's like a gazillion surfaces and people are nasty. So sanitizing the public washroom, sanitizing like the food court, sanitizing all the railings, and that kind of stuff. I'm hoping that that's what they do with the time that they're closed. Lord Jazz 9. So let me ask a question, just kind of a random question. So for the people who are requesting to talk to me or to do like that, like you can request to live with somebody while they're live. If you don't know me, what is it that is incentivizing you or making you feel hype enough that you feel like you should request to have, I'm coughing, it's not corona. Sorry. That's not even funny because I was like, oh my God, I got a cough. Like, I'm not sick. But I just want to know what is incentivizing people to feel like they should like request to be in a video chat with me? Like, what is it that you feel like you need to say that you can't say within this conversation? Dia by Asser 22. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Welcome, greetings, and good nights to everyone who's here. Anyway, so last week I ran a couple of polls just to kind of get some statistics on what people think in terms of relationships and getting into relationships and what their expectations are. So poll number 1 was, when you're interested in being in a relationship with someone, do you give your all up front or do you pace yourself until there's a commitment? 73% of the people who answered said that they give their all up front, whereas 27% say that no, they pace themselves until there's a commitment. Kingdom of Heart, they're trying to be that special one to talk to me. They don't want to do that. Someone's going to get their feelings hurt. It's not a good idea. I always tell people, just come join the discussion, sit back, relax, contribute to the discussion, say what you need to say, participate, actively engage. But messaging me so that you can video chat with me, it probably just isn't a good idea. Second statistic, you're consistently talking to someone or seeing someone every day for 3 to 6 months. Does that automatically make that person your person? Like that's your personal man or your personal woman? So 56% of the people said yes and 44% said no. That number is really interestingly, it's kind of balanced, but it's still kind of high. Like for the people who said yes, after talking to someone or seeing someone every day for 3 to 6 months, that automatically means that that's your man or that's your woman. I find that a little strange because I almost feel like if there's no actual concrete conversation that you're exclusively in a relationship with this person, you're naturally just making an assumption that you guys are together because you've been talking every day. Like that's, I don't know. Like I feel like I have friends that I talk to every day, but I don't consider that me and them are in a relationship. And granted, I get it that the feelings are a little bit different and what have you, but that's still kind of strange. Kingdom of Heart, I'm scared to give my all up front to someone now. And yeah, it's true because people are flaky. It's like one day everything is really great and everything is rolling along really nicely. And then, like the next week, there's uncertainty or doubt about what's happening. And like for me, communication is a really big thing. Like if something is up, say it. If you're no longer interested, say it. If you're still interested but you're going through something, say it. Like whatever it is, I feel like at a certain point you're grown enough that there should be a conversation, good or bad, about whatever it is that's happening. You know what I mean? As opposed to ghosting people or leaving people in the dark or stringing people along. Like that shit, I'm not here for any of that. Kingdom of Heart, I disagree. Need confirmation that's your man. I absolutely agree. You do need I feel like you should get confirmation. So then the third statistic was, does regular sex make it a relationship? So if it's somebody that you're fucking on a regular basis and that's the only person that you're fucking on a regular basis, does it automatically mean that you're in a relationship with that person? Now, this is an interesting one because it's like, okay, so the statistic before that, if you're talking to somebody every day for 3 to 6 months, that automatically makes that person your person. But if you're having regular sex, it doesn't make it a relationship. And I feel like those two things are contradictory and really kind of weird, right? If you're having good sex with somebody, again, without there being a verbal discussion about a commitment, then that's your fuck buddy. That's somebody that you're getting on good with, and that's somebody that you're having regular sex with. I don't feel like that should make it a relationship, just the same as, the person that you're talking to every day for 3 to 6 months might be the person that you're also fucking regularly. So how is it that one makes it a relationship but the other doesn't? That's just kind of weird. Fit giant lifestyle, hell no. I don't know what you're saying hell no to. And then you said, yep, come clarify for me. Which one are you saying no to? Statistic number 4. Can you have great sex without catching feelings? 59% of the people who answered said yes, and 41% said no. Now, this one I understand because I know that there are a lot of people, as I've recently discovered, there's a term called being demisexual. And what that means is that, there are people who cannot have a meaningful sexual encounter with somebody unless they've developed solid feelings or unless there's an emotional attachment first. And I'm finding that that's becoming more of an underlying thing with people, and I think to some degree it's because we went through this phase or this period of time where people were just, being dogs, both men and both women. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put it to just guys alone, where it was just like, like you fuck and then you're out. You know what I mean? What they call like hit it and quit it kind of thing. I think for a while that there was like, it was just kind of running rampant. And so like people were getting tired of that. Like, okay, I give you some good pussy, I give you some good dick, and now I'm dashed to the wayside until you need a fix again. And people, I think people had started craving more meaningful interactions with other people. And so I don't necessarily think that being demisexual is a new term. I think it's just a term that's become more popular. And again, basically it is that, people need more of an emotional connection in order to have sex with somebody. They don't want to just have sex with them and then it's like people who like to cuddle after sex. I'm not huge on cuddling. Like for me to cuddle after sex, like you have to be my personal man. If you're somebody that I'm just having sex with, we don't need to do all of that. Dora Coleman, I feel you can have great sex with somebody without catching feelings. We just need something we wasn't getting from anybody else. True. Fit Giant Lifestyle also said true. T. Isaiah, tooted and booted. Never heard that one before. Tooted and booted. I've heard hit it and quit it, but tooted and booted that's an interesting one. King Hope 27, greetings and good night. Welcome. Amadou 2775. What of threesomes? Again, sexual experiences it wasn't one of the statistics that I had asked or one of the questions I'd asked, but for me, sexual encounters and Elijah, good evening, good night, welcome. Sexual encounters, there always has to be consent, or there always has to be a conversation and an understanding of what's going to happen. You do still have some people, like you have people who want to be part of a threesome, but again, there has to be an emotional connection with maybe at least one of the people that are involved. You know what I mean? So that they have those feelings of love being satisfied in addition to the physical satisfaction of orgasms and what have you. But yeah, I've been hearing the term demisexual a lot more recently, where people are craving more of an emotional connection. They're craving more of like a connection with energy with the person that they're having sex with, as opposed to it just being okay, like, I'm basically using your body to masturbate. That's the way that I think of it. It's like, if I think about, women who will go to a guy, they'll have sex, and then when the sex is done, they're putting on their clothes and they're going about their merry business. You know, people don't necessarily like that. But then it's the same thing as a guy coming to your house, gives you some good dick, eats your pussy really good, and when everything's said and done, he puts on his clothes and then he's gone. You know, again, it's the conversations that happen prior to that make the difference. Dreadhead Jayshawn, what's going on? YG and Ty Dollars, what did he say? Sign had a popular song that was called Toot It and Boot It. Never heard it. I will look it up. Midway Monster, nice to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Fit Giant Lifestyle, yes, definitely meant to. So being demisexual is not just something that's limited to women, or having those needs fulfilled is not something that's just limited to women. I've actually recently talked to several guys who have said that for them, they need more, they're starting to desire more of an emotional connection with a woman that they're going to sleep with versus, you know, maybe 5-6 years ago, what they wanted to do is just like fucking be on their merry way. Now they're desiring something deeper. And it's really funny because I feel like the dynamics in society have shifted, where now women, we're deemed to be the ones who are savages, and we are deemed to be the ones who are looking for just like some good penis or some good pussy eating, and we're not trying to really be committed to anybody. But I feel like it's just kind of a social and societal shift because guys had done it for so long, and now girls have picked up the slack of it. And the unfortunate thing is, I guess when women do it to men, it hurts more. You know? Boy. Okay, so what's the next? The next statistic is the person you're dating tells you that they're also dating another person. Do you stay committed to them or do you date others? So fortunately, the people who had sense, 92% of the people who answered said no, they would date others too. And then 8% of the population that answered said that they would stay committed to the person. So again, you know, and I try really hard to be open-minded and objective and to try to see people's perspective and understand where people are coming from. But this one, I'm baffled by the 8% of people who are sitting down diligently and faithfully waiting on somebody who has clearly told them that they're dealing with other people and you're not the only one. Now, granted, everyone has to make choices for themselves. My thing is, once you've made that choice, you can't be mad at the other person if they very clearly said to you, you're not the only person that I'm fucking. I need you to know that up front. You cannot then have the expectation that they should stop sleeping with whoever they've told you about because you have decided for yourself that you're going to be to sit on and not do anything. Dora Coleman, I say date others because why should I have to wait? And that's the point that I was trying to get to, but we'll come back to that. Then the last statistic question was, if you're not the only one that they're fucking, but you're not exclusive, do you want to know that they're sleeping with other people? Hey, Don, what's up? Lars TT, thank you very kindly. So statistically, 72% of people said that yes, they would want to know. And the other 28% of the people said no, they didn't want to know. Now, so that goal is paused and I am back. Sir SCO_OP. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I am so sorry. I'm forever mashing up people's IG names because y'all have some difficult names for me to try to like read and figure as if it goes by. So I apologize. Envirocomtastic, welcome. Please behave yourself because I'm not able to eject you. I've already ejected 3 people from my live. Thank you. Okay, so this is a conversation about relationship expectations when you're not in a relationship, but you want to be in a relationship with someone. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it out loud. Your expectations have nothing to do with me when we are not in a relationship. Your expectations are a consideration when we are in a relationship. So let's start at the point at which we are dating, we might be sleeping together, but there is no official commitment between the two of us. Do you say I got a 10? No, it's just the lighting. I wish I got a 10. Believe me, it's the lighting. I turned off the backlight so that I don't look as, pale as I normally do. So I look a little browner, and I think the blonde hair helps to like bring up my melanin just a little bit. Um, my name is Big underscore motherfucker. What's up? Greetings and good night. So again, if you and I are dating, if we're just fucking, if we're just, at a stage of getting to know one another and vibing and hanging out and all that kind of stuff, to me, we're not in a committed relationship. I don't believe a committed relationship just naturally happens, especially when you're an adult. I feel like there's conversation that has to take place. Because it's interesting, because even when you're like a teenager, you ask a girl, do you want to be my girl? You ask a boy, do you want to be my boyfriend? You know what I mean? Even when you're in grade school, you write on the little piece of paper, do you like me? Check yes or no. Do you want to be my boyfriend or girlfriend? Check yes or no. And I feel like somewhere along the line, when we become adults, as we become older, as we've gained more experience, we become stupid. Like, we do. We become absolutely stupid and we forget the basic things. And what ends up happening is like we get discombobulated and confused and overwhelmed by all these feelings that we're having and all these desires and our biological clock ticking and this happening and that happening and whatever the case may be, that we forget our senses and forget common sense in having a conversation with someone to say, hey, what are we doing, or what do you want to do, or what path are we on, just so that I know. I like to ask that question, of course, not right up front at the beginning, because I feel like in the first 3 months of getting to know somebody, it's the first 3 months of getting to know somebody. It's like when it's now the 6-month mark, we spent a whole bunch of time together. I have rocked your socks off. You had knocked my bonnet off. The sex is great. The communication is great. We've maybe had like 1 or 2 arguments where we've talked and we've recovered from it. We hang out and things are moving along at a pace. For me at that point, I want to know, okay, like, what are we doing? Because I don't want to waste another 6 months trying to say, okay, like, this is really great. Now I'm really starting to feel some type of way about you. What are we doing? Have adult discussions. There comes a point in your life where you have to stop wasting time. Because I feel like if you're actively dating, unless you've just come out of a relationship, unless you've just come out of a long-term situation and really all you want to do is just casually date, even that, make that shit known up front. Stop giving off relationship vibes to people who you don't want to be in a relationship with, and stop giving out relationship energy to people who you're not intending on being with. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with just wanting to date, but if that's your intention, let somebody know. Let whoever it is know so they know how to govern themselves. T. Isaiah, do you plan to get married again if I've been? Do I plan to get married again? Honestly, I don't know. I would, yes, my Wawa cup is still going in good. Lemon water is your best friend. Total aside, advocating for lemon water. Lemon water is your best friend. Tatted Up Weekend, what's going on, honey? T. Isaiah, do I plan to get married? You know what? I don't have a plan to get married again. Is it something that I would do if I came across the right person? Absolutely. I'm not, what's so funny? Fit Giant for life. I knew someone was going to say coronavirus. You're funny though, right? No. You see how I stopped coughing? It's just a dry throat. Thanks. Don't be rude. I don't have a plan of getting married again. If I met somebody that moved me, if I met somebody that I fell in love with, because I still do very much believe in love, and I still do very much believe in the wholesomeness and the goodness of relationships and being with one person and monogamy and all that good jazz. But I don't have a plan for it, but if I met somebody that was like that, if someone came across my path that was like that, it's something that I'm definitely open to. It's not something that I'm closed off by in any way, shape, or form. Mac B, what's going on, honey? Kuzo 89, what's going on? They're talking about the virus because I just coughed because people are feisty. But yeah, date means that there are other prospects. Listen, if a man approaches me and says, I want to date you exclusively to focus my energies and efforts on getting to know you, to see where this goes, I'm okay with that as well. Again, my whole thing is having a conversation. I never assume that it's just me and a person, even if we're talking all the time or even if we're talking every day, because really and truly at the drop of a dime, that person can turn around and say, look, we never had no conversation that I'm your man. We never had no conversation that we're exclusive. We never talked about this, so you can't assume that. But again, I say this all the time. Stop putting out relationship energy and relationship vibes and giving out relationship privileges to someone who you're not interested in being in a relationship with. Lamborghini Mercy. Hi, honey. Nice to see you. Dora Coleman. I always let my intention be known, but sometimes the other person is ready to move a little too fast. But you know what? You can't, again, and that falls into the line of expectation. You can't, someone else's expectation is not your responsibility. Their expectation is their responsibility. Especially if you've been upfront with the person, you've said to them, like, this is where I'm at. I really like you. I'm really interested in seeing where this is going to go, but I also want to go slow. Like, I don't want to rush into something. You know what I mean? I feel like that's responsible dating. And the problem is people don't want to date responsibly. I always say there's a bubble of euphoria that happens in the first 3 to 6 months where everything is fucking fantastic. Everything is bliss. Everything is love. Everything is rose colored. You know, all their poop smell fantastic. Their morning breath is glorious. When they snore, it sounds like trumpets from heaven blowing. All that good jazz happens in the first 3 to 6 months because people are in the love bubble. They just are. The problem comes when the love bubble has popped. You've had that very first argument and you haven't taken the time to learn the person enough because you're preoccupied with their dick and their pussy and their head game and their giggle and the way they smell and the way they feel. So when you have your first argument, you don't know how to recover. And I always say to people, it's great to be in love and it's great to be in a relationship. Have your first argument or that first heated discussion and see how you guys recover from that and move forward from there. What are you saying? What are you saying? Like me, I'm bald, hell yeah, stank breath, that hates me, bald, you're not bald. But what is wrong with you? Tatted up Rican, stop the craziness, stop welling out. T. Isaiah, say a man past a certain age and hasn't done something sexually, would that turn you off or not? And I am... See, T. Isaiah, you're trying to draw me out. You're trying to draw me out and have me chat things about myself. But I'm gonna, you know, I'm all about the Q&A and I'm very open to answering any questions. So I'm not opposed to being with somebody who doesn't have the same level of sexual experience that I do. What I'm opposed to is someone who's not willing to try. Because I'm grown. We have this discussion all the time, although I haven't disclosed my age. I keep telling you guys, I am a big woman to ono. I'm a much older woman. I don't look it, but I cannot impress upon you enough. Miss Jackie Daniels, my love, goddess, what's going on? I cannot impress upon you guys enough. I am an older woman. So there are certain things that at my age, I know I am not willing to compromise. So let me just talk the things down, okay? No, I know, I'm just saying, right? It's cool. So let me just talk the things then. One, I like to have my pussy eaten. I'm too big and grown to pretend like I don't, or pretend like I can be in a long-term relationship with a man who is not open-minded enough to do that. I like kissing, I like physical touching, and all that sort of stuff. And on the flip side of that, when I am with you and you're like my personal man, trust me, you get everything. There isn't anything that you wouldn't get. There isn't anything that I wouldn't do for you. There isn't any way that I'm not willing to please you. But again, you have to be my personal man, right? If you are a man that I'm with and you say to me, you know, there are certain things that I haven't done, my question to you then is, but are you willing to try? From your answer is yes, we're good. Because that is a teaching opportunity for me to learn you how to please my body. For me to learn you how to do the things that I like. And on the flip side of that, it gives me an opportunity to show you some stuff and help you explore and open up to the things that you like. Wait, what? No, tatted up Rican, you cannot speak. No time. Not fast, not slow. Because you're about to say something crazy. No, I'm not going to hush nothing. No, I'm not. But again, back to it, right? I'm a very open-minded person. I've learned over a period of time that you can't be... Listen to me. Relationships die and get stagnant because people get stagnant, because people don't want to try, because people don't want to explore, because people become complacent. And I've learned for myself, I can't do complacency. Like, I don't like feeling frustrated when I'm in a relationship. I don't like feeling upset and aggravated when I'm in a relationship. Like, if you are the person that I'm with, you're the person that I should be able to explore with. You're the person that I should be able to say, you know what, come babes, let me tie you up tonight and just like love up on your body and put oil all over myself and rub my body up and down you. You know what I mean? Them the kind of weird. Those are the kind of things that if you're my personal man, that's the stuff that I want to do with you. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Like, what is the point of being in a relationship with somebody that you can't explore with, right? But back to expectations, right? When you're just getting to know someone and you're just getting into the throes of a relationship, you have to check your expectations, because what you're expecting from a relationship may not be realistic, right? And it's not to say that you shouldn't want certain things. It's not to say that you shouldn't, express certain needs. But again, like, if you guys are just in the beginning stages of getting to know someone, having relationship expectations from someone that you're just dating, it's not practical, and it's trust me, it's not gonna work. You're gonna end up frustrating yourself. I say to people all the time, your expectations of me have nothing to do with me, and they're none of my business. So let me give you all a story. A recent sexual encounter. I won't say how recent, we'll say months. Months ago. This person had the expectation that his penis was going to get sucked. There's a conversation, okay? And so when I asked the female, why did he have that expectation? She said she didn't know. But this was her problem. She had the expectation that he was going to eat her pussy. So I was like, so how did that work out? She said that they didn't end up having sex. Why? Because he insisted that his dick could not get hard and would not stay hard unless she sucked his dick. And she had decided, because he was adamant about not eating her pussy, even if she wanted to suck his dick, she wasn't going to suck his dick. To prove a point. And again, so then I'm asking, okay, well, how long have you guys been together in a relationship? She said, well, they're not in a relationship. So then my question is, then why do either of you have an expectation of the other person? So his point to her was that because, of certain things that she talked about and certain conversations he's heard her have, he just naturally assumed that he was going to get his dick sucked. And because of conversations that she has had with other people about him and things that he has said in passing, she naturally assumed that he was going to eat her pussy. Anyways, the whole thing mashed up. Sex didn't happen. The whole situation flopped, or whatever the case may be. And they're both upset with the other person for the same reason, because they both had an expectation that the other person was going to do something that they wanted. Again, ask questions. I can't say that I've ever walked into a sexual situation or a sexual experience with the assumption that the person was going to do one thing or another. I walk in with the expectation of myself to know what I'm going to do to and with and for that person, and the way in which I'm going to perform in that situation with the person. That's you know what I mean? You can only take responsibility and hits for yourself. You can't force another person to act in a manner in which you would. It just doesn't make any sense. T. Isaiah, you're speaking on behalf of others, or you? I am speaking on behalf of others. That's funny. And that's what I'm saying. They're both mad because, and they both had the same expectation. It's like, and again, for the woman, when I asked her, like, okay, but I know for her, she enjoys giving head. So it wasn't so much the fact that she didn't want to give him head. It's because he was so adamant about not eating her pussy that she was like, okay, so what am I going to please you for? And you're not willing to give anything in return. You're not even willing to consider it. If he had been smart, he could have kissed her belly, kissed her inner thighs, like rubbed on her clit while he was doing other things and stimulate her and make her feel good, to make her forget about it. Not forget about it, but yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say. To make her, feel better or feel some type of way or feel like, and then she probably would have eased into it. But he was just like, according to her, like it was like, she said it was like watching paint dry. There was nothing to stimulate her. And then especially after having that conversation, it was like, and it's really weird because it's like, I know that there are, okay, so I'm going to say from, as a Jamaican woman, that there are still groups of Jamaican men who feel like they should expect a woman to suck their dick, but they're not going to return the favor. And I don't know if they know that it's 2020 and there are a lot of pussy eating men out there, whether they say it out loud or not, that there is no woman, unless she doesn't want to, that will put up with a man that just won't, because, well, that's just not for me. I just don't do those things. Okay, well, you know, fortunately for her, there are a lot of other men who do, and you might find yourself in a situation of doing without. So, life with Keely, C, and then they both lose out. You got to be my personal man. I don't know. For me, it's not necessarily that you have to be my, and we're just totally on a completely different subject. For me, giving head is not necessarily about the person being my personal man, but it's about how I feel with that person, our exchange of energy, how that person makes me feel, the way the person treats me, you know, if there's like foreplay, if the person's like interactive and caressing me, you know, like for me, those are a lot of the deciding factors. If it's something where, you know, you haven't kissed me, you haven't touched me, you haven't caressed me, there's no foreplay, but you want me to suck your dick so that you can get hard so that we can fuck, that's not beneficial to me. That's all about you, and I'm not doing that with nobody. No time in our life. We're not here for none of that. Become a better you 24. What's going on, babe? Life with Keely. Ain't nobody doing that these days. On to the next girl. Dora Coleman. Only way I would deal with that is if I know that he or she is bad at it or has never done it. And you know what? It's so funny, Dora Coleman, that you say that, because I was in a sexuationship with someone who was like that. Like, he was terrible at it. Like, I don't think there's only one other person I've ever come across in my life, and this was like maybe like a decade and a half ago, that was just as bad. But this particular one that I was dealing with, he was like, he would say to me, you know, I want to suck it, and I would be like, no. So, like, sorry. He would ask, like, every time we would go to have sex, he would straight up ask me, or just say to me, oh, I want to eat your pussy. Oh, I want to lick it. And I'd be like, no. Why? I'm like, because, fam, you're terrible at it. I would tell him all the time, it's like, you're down there, and literally, it's like you're trying to take off piece of it to carry with you to do what with later? I don't know. That shit hurt. It was not pleasant. It was, oh my God. T.I.J., I broke his spirits. I didn't break nobody's blood clot, nothing. Listen to me. My vagina is very sensitive, and there are all kinds of nerve endings down there. And yes, she's fantastic, and yes, she spits out, you know, unicorn piss and unicorn glitter and all them good things, and she's sexy, and she's fat, and she's gushy, and she's warm, and all this kind of stuff. But I like her where she is. She serves a purpose. She keeps me happy, and she's my best fucking friend. How do you as a man feel like you're going to try to gnaw off piece of her and take her with you because you love it so much? We're not doing that. No time in a life, my friend. Sorry. I got one. I can't get another. There's no plastic surgery. There's no replacement. There's no, you know, Dr. Miami. There's none of that happening. I like my pussy where she is, and she likes being where she is. So when you say to me, when I know you're terrible at it, especially when I've tried to instruct you while you're doing it and you just refuse to pay attention because you want to do it your way, you don't get a chance to do it again. So sorry. Like, we're not, honestly, I'd rather just do without it, because if you do it and you hurt me, I'm going to punch you in your fucking head, and then we're going to fight. And what good does that cause? Then the police got to get involved. Somebody's going to jail. Like, anyhow. You see, y'all have me out here acting the fool and talking crazy. Yo, some guys think it's really food, guy. Relax and calm down, fam, and take it easy on the pum-pum. No, it's not kind of extreme. That's exactly what's going on. Pelvin, whatever, Beely, I don't know who you are, and I'm not accepting a chat request from you. You know what's really funny? Sorry, I'm going to talk about this. People who can't spell words properly and then want to message me. Like, get a dictionary. Get spell check. You have access to the internet, which means that you can get online. Cut and paste if you have to. Just write a proper sentence. That's all I ask. Anyhow, I suspect that we're probably not going to get to the 5 love languages tonight, which we'll have to transfer to next week, which is fine. But anyhow, back to the discussion of relationships. Expectations when you're expecting a relationship. Honestly, the best thing for you to do is to keep your expectations in check, and make sure that you're not projecting what it is that you want into a relationship that it's still evolving, into a relationship that's still developing, and into a relationship that might not actually end up being a relationship. People sabotage themselves all the time by having expectations and moving too fast. Oh, well, we talked every day, so I just expected that. That doesn't mean fuck all. Again, if you don't have the actual conversation that says, okay, well, yes, this is what I would like as well, or this is where I'm at, or this is what we're doing, or are you interested in, whatever the adult discussion is, until you've had a conversation with someone, or until that you guys are both on the same page, don't place your expectations in those situations, because you're just going to end up being disappointed, and you're just going to end up sabotaging yourself. Dora Coleman, laughing my ass off. I can see, trying to explain to the cop that he was bad at going down and you had to whoop his ass. Listen to me. I don't feel embarrassment about those kind of things, eh? Again, my pum-pum is very precious to me. And any woman who's out there, I know your pum-pum should be your best friend, and your pum-pum should be sacred to you, and your pum-pum should be precious to you, because you get one and one alone. It's not like breasts where you can buy more, or tick off piece or what. You can't buy a new pum-pum. You can maybe get it nipped and tucked and do all that designer vagina stuff, but at the end of the day, you get one pum-pum and one pum-pum alone. You can fatten it, you can take pieces off of it, you can sexy it up, you can do whatever. But again, you only get one. There's no replacing it. So when someone is trying to gnaw off piece, no matter how good your pussy smells, no matter how good your pum-pum tastes, no matter how tight it is and you're quinted and all them good things, listen to me. Don't let no man beat up and rough up your pum-pum like that. With his mouth no less, and his teeth no less. Who's here for that? Are you crazy? Yo, don't. Let me calm down. But yeah, that individual, if he and I were to ever cross paths again, it could be 15, 20 years from now. My answer is still going to be the same. No, you cannot go down on me. Like, and it's crazy to have to tell somebody grown why they can't. Because no matter how many times you try to coach them, no matter how many times you try to train them, and sorry, this discussion has gone completely left and sideways, and that was based on a question that was asked. But yeah, like if I say to you 3 times in a row, 3 sexual experiences in a row, I don't like that, ow, you're hurting me, don't do that, oh my God, that hurts, ease up, take time, or I'm forever pushing it, no, we're done. If I've given you 3 chances and you fucked up all 3 times, I can't do anything with you. To me, you're not trainable because you don't want to listen. To me, you're not willing to work with my body because you've decided for yourself that that's the way that you want to eat my. And he's like has said to me in past, oh, I love it so much. I just want to take piece of it. You see, from you saying that shit to me, I'm done, because that that's a threat to me. You're trying to take piece of my good pussy with you to do what, sir? What is it that you plan on doing with it later? Because you're making cannibalism talk, and I'm not here for none of that. There's no flesh eating. You can lick and suck all you want, and as much as people call it eating pussy, we all know in reality it's not really eating pussy. You're licking and sucking and fingering and doing all that good tongue work and all that other kind of stuff. But when you're actually threatening me and telling me things like you want to tick off piece of my pum-pum to take with you because you love it so much, don't love it that much, please. I like her where she is. Love her. Life with Keely. A man try to bruise it and shit. No, boss. I'll fight. Right? That's like it's a fight. It's a straight fight. Miss Jackie Daniels, love you, goddess. I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate you being here for the time that you were here. But yeah, expectations in a relationship, when you're expecting a relationship, it's self-sabotage, because if that person sees you as just being a really good friend, no matter how much time you spend together, and they've decided that they friend zone you, but because you spend so much time together with them, you've decided that you guys are going to be in a relationship, and you start planning the wedding and you start planning your life out together, you're going to disappoint yourself. You really and truly are going to disappoint yourself. Everything warrants a conversation. Have a conversation. It doesn't hurt. People think that conversations bruise egos, and you shouldn't go into the conversation with your ego riding on your chest. You know what I mean? Park your ego at the door. If you value the person, if you love the person, if you like the person, if you have a vested interest in the person, check your ego at the door and have a conversation with the person. Don't have preconceived notions or preconceived expectations, because your feelings are going to get hurt. Try to walk in with it open-minded. Your feelings may get hurt, but your feelings may also not get hurt. And even if your feelings do get hurt, it shouldn't mean that you should stop loving that person. It just means the track that you thought that you guys were on is not the track that you're actually on. And clarification isn't a bad thing. At least you're not walking around thinking that you're in a relationship with this person. Meanwhile, you're in a relationship by yourself. And I've seen that happen time and time and time again. Mac Earl, son of the king, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm happy. I feel like I like to know that my lives are helpful, to whoever they're helpful to, or that there's meaningful discussion, and even if it's my personal stories help somebody to kind of make a decision about something or gives perspective or clarification, I am tickled and happy for that, because it's the whole point of why I do what I do, between doing the lives and doing the podcast and that kind of thing. I always hope that my life experiences and my knowledge base and the fucked up experiences help somebody to, even if you make the same mistakes, that you don't feel like you're alone. Or if you're contemplating doing something and it gives you a different perspective, that maybe you make a different choice. Or even if it's something that makes you smile or makes you laugh or brightens your day a little bit, I'm here for it as well. Great Organza. Patreon is not up as yet. We are still working on it. So I'm hoping by April 1st, or by the end of this month, to have everything up and running. There are going to be some really sexy components to the Patreon. There is a thing coming called the Audio Peep Show, where if you've ever had phone sex, think of it like phone sex. Where you get to hear me and, some stuff that's going on. There is also the video peep shows, where you get to see some stuff with me and things that are going on. But that hopefully will be up and running, and everything should be underway by the end of April. At this point, still working out the logistics of the live for June 27th, hoping that everything in the cities have settled down in terms of the coronavirus so that people feel safe to come out. And I'm hoping by that time, things will be well underway where people are able to be out in public and what have you. By then it'll be like the height of summer, and I feel like it'll be a great event for people to be able to come out to, because of the warmth and kind of just getting back in the swing of things. So still looking to do that at the end of June, which will be Saturday, June 27th. Once I know more, there will be information again put up with about that. We have some really, really great sponsors on board. I can't mention anyone at this point, but we've got some really great sponsors on board. It is 9:53. We've got maybe another 7 minutes before I sign off. Sorry, Dora Coleman. It makes things hard when you've been having intimate sex versus straight fucking and feelings are just one-sided. It does, and people have the potential to get hurt. But again, it just, it's really just a matter of conversation. It's really weird. As we get older, we talk less. Whereas when we were kids, but then I guess, kids have the expectation that they just don't shut up, and kids are a little bit more straightforward. They just want to know what's happening so they know how to deal with it. We should still have that same sort of mindset. There's nothing wrong with having conversations so that you have a clear understanding of what's happening between you and that person, that if it's just fucking, then it's just fucking. But if you guys are working towards something, then you're working towards something, For me, I don't like to crowd people. If we're talking every day and then you kind of fall back, I take that as a hint to just chill. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm not going to stress you. I will still express interest and let you know that, I think about you, that you're on my mind, that I miss you, whatever the case may be. But if it comes to a point where those expressions start to be one-sided and there's no reciprocity, or there's nobody, you're not giving back the same type of energy, even a small percentage of it, then I don't know, to me that's kind of my cue, maybe it's run its course, or you feel differently, or whatever the case may be. I'll ask, and if the answers are always the same, no, I'm good, but again, people's actions speak louder than their words, I'll take the actions over your words, because sometimes people feel like they don't want to say anything because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Fuck it, honestly, I'd rather you hurt my feelings and tell me what it is so I know how to deal with it, instead of thinking that it's something that it's not. you know. And that's a problem. It's like, you know, people are, oh, well, I didn't want to hurt the person's feelings. Honestly, it may sound harsh and it may sound mean. Hurt the person's feelings, not with the intention of hurting them, but hurt the person's feelings with the intention of letting them know what is actually happening. Leading somebody on and leading somebody astray and making a person believe that they're in a relationship with you when they're not, that does more damage than good. If I start talking to somebody, especially if I know that maybe they're coming out of something, I ask, like, are you free to be like engaging in these kind of talks with me? Because I don't want, for me, I don't want to pass that boundary, but I also don't want to encourage you to overstep that boundary or do something that you're not supposed to do. That's me, you know. Or if I meet somebody, I'll say, like, are you like single? And they'll be like, yeah. I'm like, okay, is there a woman out there who's under the impression that she's your girl? You would be amazed the amount of times that someone has said to me, well, you know, I never told her that she was, from you say to me, you never told her that she was your girl. You're giving her the impression, or you're giving her vibes, or you're giving her feelings like you and her are in something, or she's your girl. That kind of stuff, again, giving out relationship vibes is giving the person that green light for them to have the expectation that you're in something with them, even if you don't mean to be. Again, I'd rather you hurt my feelings, not with the intention of wanting to be mean and malicious to hurt my feelings, but hurting my feelings so that I clearly understand where we are in terms of our friendship, sex situationship, fuck friendship, or relationship. I would rather know what's going on than to be stuck in my head assuming that it's something that it's not. So that is our discussion on the expectations, what to expect when you're expecting a relationship. We didn't get to the 5 love languages, but I promise you I will cover that next week because I think it's an important conversation, especially for people who don't know what the love languages are or the ways in which they love and the things that they need in a relationship. It's more so to kind of help people steer themselves in terms of their relationships and how to navigate their relationships, and letting people know what's most important to them in terms of what their needs are in a relationship. Anyhow, I am your host, AJ Badass Jones. I'm the host of the Pum Pum Chronicles podcast. The Wet Wednesdays always go up on YouTube every Friday. So if you've missed this conversation or missed the discussion and you want to catch up on things, if you joined late, you can find it on the Pum Pum Chronicles channel on YouTube. Please subscribe. I also have audio episodes that drop every Thursday. Sometimes on a Friday if I'm late, but usually every Thursday. And they are streaming on Apple iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and most recently iHeartRadio. If you do listen on Apple iTunes, please leave a review. Leave a comment, good or bad or otherwise. Let me know what you think and let me know how you think I'm doing. If there are questions that you ever want to submit, I do have a new phone number and I haven't memorized it, but I will post it. The link is on my page somewhere, but I will post it. You can call that number. You can leave a voicemail, or you can send a text message if there's something that you want to ask that you want me to cover, either in a discussion on Wet Wednesdays or something in the podcast, or if it's something personally that you'd like for me to answer. I can definitely do that. I will memorize the number as time goes. I just remember it's a 320 number. But if you want to email me anything that you'd like for me to cover or otherwise, you can email me at the Pum Pum Chronicles, all one word. You can see the link there pinned, the Pum Pum Chronicles at gmail.com. Yeah, and that's it for me. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you to everyone who joined in the discussion. As always, I love talking to you guys and, you know, getting your feedback and your input. There will be information coming out about the Patreon and how you can subscribe. There will be information coming about the live event as well. Just waiting to hear a little bit more in terms of what they're doing with the city for the coronavirus. Romaine Ferguson 91. Am I single? DM me and I'll answer that question. Yeah. Why do you want to know if I'm single? That's, you know. Oh, look, for the people who are on talking about my boobs, look, boob jiggling. Anyhow, sorry, let me stop acting the ass. Anyways, I hope that everyone has a great night. Pum Pum Chronicles check out the podcast. And Pum Pum Posse, big up yourself. Thank you guys as always for joining in. I will be back next week Wednesday. Next week Wednesday, we're going to tackle the 5 love languages first, and then whatever discussions come after that, we will definitely get into. Again, I appreciate everyone for joining in. It was a great discussion. Glad to see everybody back. In the meantime and in between time, please stay safe. Wash your dirty hands. Sanitize your surfaces. Stop touch up people. Stop touch up your face. And all that good stuff. Yeah, stay safe. Love hard. And I'll talk to you guys next week.